He has been in this position for 3 days. Finally, a fox has come. He has lived for so long in the disaster. He has enough patience. He broke into an abandoned house. He tried to open the faucet. Unfortunately, there was no water, but the owner of the house scared him. It seems that he can't stand the torture. He chose to kill himself. He took a look at the other person's shoes. He took off his shoes and put them on. His feet, the size is just right. He was happy like a child. When he went down the mountain in the sun, he lit a bonfire. He used the cat oil moisturizing lips to attract a fox. He generously gave a small piece. He didn't forget to joke. Next, he cleaned his body. There was no water. He could only use the wet towel of Kaifeng Tai. Finally, he opened the door and accompanied him for 30 years. He fell asleep gradually in Anji singing. The next day, he met a woman who wanted to save him. He wanted to help her, but the strong smell of his body made him stop 30 meters away. It was really an ambush. He slowly retreated to the shadow. He used this to reduce the advantage of the enemy. 3, 2, 1, go. The woman was afraid that she would also be killed, but she just washed the water in the vase. The blood stain was not put down by the pollution. She was not a robber. She was just a messenger of the West. She didn't go far. There was a scream under the bridge. It was a group of bandits. She didn't want to make a fuss. She could only whisper in her heart to persuade herself. This damn man is a traitor. The bandit left 2 corpses and went away. He could only pack up and continue to go up the road. Ellie went in the direction of the caravan. Surprisingly, there was a noisy town here. The town was ruled by a bandit who owned 2 water resources. The bandit on the side of the rich has been looking for the prophecy book that can change the fate of mankind in order to expand the territory. The bandit who robbed the woman took the book upstairs to trade. The bandit saw the useless broken book and didn't have the one he was looking for. The bandit took out the incense from the woman's body and gave it to the bandit. The bandit told them to enjoy it and then continue to go up the road to find the prophecy book. Then he went upstairs alone and used the incense to wash his wife's hair. At the same time, Ellie entered a grocery store. The shopkeeper immediately took out a gun and stopped the stranger. Ellie slowly came closer and took a spray. She reminded the shopkeeper that she was just a customer and then returned the spray. Then she took off her backpack and took out the speaker and asked the shopkeeper to help recharge it. She gave the shopkeeper a lighter as a reward. She saw that the shopkeeper was not satisfied with the amount of food she found in the bakery. The shopkeeper agreed to Ellie's request. Ellie went into the bar under the introduction of the shopkeeper to change the water. She came to the bar and took out a kettle and asked the bartender to fill it up. That's a good stuff. I gotta eat it in my own ration and sell it so it don't come cheap. Ellie took out a scarf and a pair of leather gloves as an exchange. Then she pushed the cat of the caravan party down the bar. The bartender saw that Ellie had supplies and shouted out loud to her to go to the door to get water. At this time, the caravan party saw that Ellie had supplies and the cat was beaten up to look for tea. After Ellie apologized, the man kept provoking her. But in the next second, the caravan party leader couldn't stand Ellie and took her backpack and turned around and left. But the other members who were ready to attack were surrounded in the middle. Ellie put down her backpack and cut herself in front of the warning. We're out of the ground. We were taken from the dust we are. Into the dust we shall return. Stop. This is when the American who came back from the water stopped. Ellie, who was being slaughtered. When the bartender heard the sound of fighting, he held a gun and rushed to the gunpowder shooting range and was stopped by the bartender. Ellie put down her weapon and came upstairs. The bartender changed his clothes and walked over. The bartender saw that Ellie was good at martial arts and wanted to recruit her. He emphasized that Ellie could rest assured that the people who stayed here would not eat people. Did you read every day? I'm sorry. They would handle themselves the way you did. I don't know where you learned it, but I'm sure as hell could use it. Thank you, but I'm really not interested. Well, people who work for me look better than any walker I ever dreamed. Your bed's hot food, hot water. Thank you. That's where I need to be. The bartender hoped that Ellie would stay overnight and feel the local breeze. The bartender sent Ellie to a warm room and lit a candle. The next second, the bartender's wife brought her laundry and delicious food. Ellie hurriedly got up and took the tray from the woman's hand. The smell of incense on her body was very unique. The woman turned around and left and came to the bartender's room to remind him that this person would not change his mind. The bartender ordered him to let go of his daughter and go to the American to entertain her. The woman kneeled in front of the bartender and begged him to let go of his daughter, but it didn't work. Then Ellie knocked on the door in her pajamas. Ellie got up and told him to hide the book for a while. Then Ellie went into the room. Ellie got closer and closer and told him not to worry about the money. Ellie turned around, opened the door and called him out. Ellie immediately closed the door and hoped that he would stay. Otherwise, the bartender would definitely hurt the mother who sent him the food just now. Ellie saw that he had a reason to stay in the room. Ellie was very eager to find out how Ellie was doing in the outside world. For more than 30 years, Ellie couldn't remember what the outside world was like. But Ellie, who didn't mean any harm, replied, people had more than they needed. We had no idea what was precious. This is the book that Ellie saw for the first time in her life. She was eager to ask if she could show it to herself. Ellie packed her book and hid it in her school bag. Then she sat at the table and raised her hand to pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this meal. We thank you for begging in a roof over our head on cold nights such as this. Ellie. Then she gave the food to Ellie and asked her to fill her stomach. One night later, when the bartender was cleaning her beard, Ellie came over to eat. The bartender asked Ellie about her performance last night. Ellie told her nicely that she did it in her way. Then Ellie held her mother's arm before eating and said a prayer. After the bartender heard it, he put his smile on his mouth and listened carefully. Then he said a sentence in American. He quickly got up and asked Ellie if she had read the book. His mother saw that he was unfriendly and just wanted to persuade her to stop. He was scolded by the bartender. He grabbed a woman's hair and asked Ellie if she had read the book. When Ellie saw his mother being bullied, he told her that there was a book called The Cross. Ellie's bartender knew that he was his target, so he quickly ran over. He walked into Ellie's room and found her missing. After quickly leaving, he took a shot in the headgear and sent away his incompetent subordinates. Ellie ordered the shopkeeper to pull down the charging device immediately and reminded him that he had never been here before. He took the speaker and left the shop, but he was led by the bartender in a group. The bartender reminded Ellie to hand over the book or leave it with the book. If he resisted, he would kill him and take the book away. Ellie saw that the bartender was not the owner of the book. Ignoring the armed gang in front of her, he went straight to the west. The bartender reminded the shopkeeper to kill him and bring the book back. The shopkeeper took a shot and Ellie stopped walking. Then he continued to leave the shop and continue to shoot. The bartender saw that the shopkeeper did not shoot, so he rushed up in anger. In the next second, Ellie turned around and attacked. The bartender hid behind the pillar and was hit by Ellie. The bald man stood still and waited for his brothers to die. He raised his gun, thought about it, and put it down again. Ellie didn't understand his intention and turned around to leave. She had never seen anyone dare to resist the bartender, so she made a decision. In silence, she followed Ellie secretly until she found her. Ellie, who was in danger on the way, did not want to leave with Ellie. After her mother's consent, Ellie thought it would be more difficult to stay. Ellie heard the sound of water and stopped walking. The two came to one of the springs where Ellie washed her face. Then she took out a water pot and filled it with water, pushed the door and left. They all asked Ellie to go back and get some glasses. When Ellie just came in, she closed the door, pulled down the door and turned around and left. At this time, the bartender, whose leg was injured, angrily beat the bald man and ordered the organization to catch Ellie together. The bald man ordered his men to leave the room to prepare. He saw that the bartender, who had lost many confidants, said, "I want Ellie." The bartender understood the reason why the bald man let Ellie go. The bald man needed more of his own bartender at this time. The bartender laughed that he and Ellie were just his wife. Then he dressed up and rushed to the west to chase Ellie. At this time, Ellie, who was walking alone on the road, heard the woman crying. She watched the trapped woman go up and check the situation. The woman reminded Ellie to leave first. She didn't need her help. Ellie was kind enough to help her get out of bed. But in the next second, two men surrounded her. They dragged her into the stone pillar and tore off Ellie's clothes. Ellie tried hard to resist, but she couldn't do anything. At this time, a shuriken broke through the man's pants. The man was in pain and the man died on Ellie. The man saw his brother die and got up to check. In the next second, another shuriken pierced the man's neck. Ellie went up and pulled the body to save Ellie. Ellie got up and held Ellie and went up together. Ellie walked down the stairs, raised her bow and shot the eagle in the air. After the shot, she asked Ellie to pick up the bow and arrow and run to dinner. At the same time, Ellie's team rushed to the stone pillar and saw two corpses. The bald man thought Ellie was badly injured under the protection of the book. Ellie reminded his men that he was just a mortal. If he was shot, he would fall. The next day, Ellie found a house on the road. Ellie held the door with a gun and pressed the door handle. In the next second, the mechanism was opened and the two men fell into the underground. The old man raised his hand and asked who was coming. Ellie hurriedly surrendered and lied that she didn't see of the dead eagle coming. The old man welcomed Ellie into the door and told his wife to prepare for battle. Then he opened the sofa for a few people to prepare for the counterattack. The dead eagle picked up the horn and ordered Ellie to hand over the beautiful lady and the book. Ellie ran upstairs and threw the holy book out of the window. The bald man picked it up and found the bomb on the ground and ran away. "What about her? I didn't mention you." The old man found his wife was blown up. He picked up the gun and cried for his wife's revenge. The house was about to be bombed. The dead eagle ordered his men to enter the house. The bald man went into the house and pulled Ellie and the beautiful lady out of the house. The dead eagle grabbed the beautiful lady and pointed his gun at her neck. Ellie wanted to kill him, but she was controlled by the top of the gun. The bald man persuaded the dead eagle, but he was scolded by the dead eagle. "Where's the book? Give him the book, please. Don't tell him. It's in the house. Back of the TV. Don't check the TV." "What? You're fucking shitting me. You go. Go." The bald man went into the house and took out the book hidden in the TV. He asked the dead eagle to help the beautiful lady stand aside. The dead eagle grabbed the gun and hit Ellie's abdomen. Ellie resisted the attack and knelt on the ground for the next second. Then he quickly got up, pulled out his dagger and looked around. Everyone was surprised to see his next move. Only when Ellie sat on the ground did the dead eagle dare to speak. "He's just a man." The dead eagle leaned on Ellie and warned her to pray for herself. Then he took the book and went back to the town. This is the knife that the bald man took from Ellie. He found that there was nothing special, metal, so he threw it in front of the windshield. The beautiful lady quietly took out the rope and tied it to her hand. The next second, the driver's neck was pulled back. The car was out of control for a moment. A few consecutive turns stopped on the side of the road. The dead eagle found that it was wrong to turn around and turn back. The beautiful lady got out of the car and threw the grenade at the dead eagle. The dead eagle saw the beautiful lady and ordered her to get out of the car. The beautiful lady rushed into the car and grabbed the beautiful lady with her bare hands. Then she let go of her hand and pulled out a long knife from Ellie's hand. The beautiful lady got out of the car and kneeled on the ground, looking at the dead eagle's hate for the Northwest. The beautiful lady ran away from the scene. The dead eagle saw all the orders in front of him and returned to the town. The beautiful lady ran to the house to look for Ellie and found that she had already left. The beautiful lady rushed into the car and rushed towards the west to chase Ellie. Ellie walked slowly towards the west with a tired body. The beautiful lady got out of the car and hugged Ellie to feed her saliva. The beautiful lady took the car and continued to drive west. After a long time, the green boat ahead saw a glimmer of hope. Maiku slammed on the brakes and stopped atop the broken bridge. At this moment, Maiku stopped at the top of the bridge. Ellie looked at the boundless sea and the buildings ahead and thought this was the place. She pushed the small boat on the shore and pulled Demei to the other side. Just as she was about to get close, she was stopped by the soldiers on the city wall. Meanwhile, Sang Biao found the grocery store owner to help open the lock on the holy book. The woman smiled and lied that she didn't remember. Then she walked over to Sang Biao and touched his head. Sang Biao heard the commotion downstairs and got up to check. Biao heard the noise downstairs and got up to check. The oppressed had already rushed into the bar to fight, but no one stopped them. Sang Biao sat down and realized that he was in big trouble. At this time, Ellie entered the palace and lay on a long chair, reciting all the contents of her 30-year-old holy book. Ellie left the world after completing her mission. Damei picked up Ellie's sword and management words, put on Ellie's headphones and returned to the town. It is mostly pity